This just in, there is an Amber Alert for the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, aka TEKS. This is an alert to principals to be on the lookout on your campus to see if TEKS are being taught in the classroom. If spotted on your campus, please respond with a "job well done." When looking for TEKS, be aware that the TEKS are organized into strands. The strands can be described as the following. Writing. Students should use writing process elements to compose a variety of texts. Students should use writing literacy to communicate clearly what they are thinking and feeling. Students must write about personal experiences they have had. Writing should be done with a clear idea, consistent organization, and with adequate details. Speaking and listening. Students learn during conversation to listen attentively to others and contribute their own ideas to the conversation. Students must speak clearly and to the point while making eye contact, maintaining a proper rate and volume, and using expression to communicate successfully. Research. Students are expected to learn how to locate and find appropriate sources to help them address a research question. Students must also learn how to document the information they gather. Students must be able to clarify research questions and combine collected information to form a new understanding. Oral, written. Students must learn and understand the function of academic language during speaking and writing. Students are expected to write legibly while using proper capitalization and punctuations in their writing. Students are expected to use proper spelling on more advanced words. Figure 19. Students will build on previously learned standards by applying them on more difficult and complex text. Students will use a variety of reading comprehension strategies to better understand the author's message. Students are expected to establish purpose for reading text and monitor and adjust comprehension by different means, such as developing questions about the text and creating images in their mind.
Section 2. Reading comprehension of literary text and poetry. B4. Students are expected to read and understand poetry. They should be able to identify some of the different types of poetry and how they are formatted. Students need to be able to make conclusions about the poem and support their conclusion with evidence. We feel that poetry is an essential part of an ELL's comprehension of the English language. It is also essential for general education students to use their imagination during reading and learning to help them develop creativity. Finding supporting evidence to support your idea or claim is a building block to developing critical thinking and writing skills. Reading comprehension of literary text and drama. B5. Students need to understand the format of a drama or literary text. They need to be able to make conclusions and provide evidence of their conclusions. Students should be able to use their inferring skills to help them figure out what might be happening or happen in the text. We feel that drama is a part of a cultural education. The tones, accents, and wording offer insight to how an individual or a group of people may react in certain scenarios. This is important because various cultures react differently, and literature offers a way to alternate cultural reactions in dramatic situations. B15. Writing and writing process. Students use parts of the writing process to create a text. For example, planning, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. Students will first plan what they want to write. Students will then create a rough draft that allows them to start to organize their thoughts into paragraphs. Students revise their rough draft so that it is well organized and generally free of errors. Students then edit their work so that it is grammatically correct. They will then revise their work based on critiques from peers and the teacher. Knowing how to draft a paper, organize it, write it, and revise it are crucial skills to any student. Writing an effective and strong paper will help students to succeed in high school, college, and beyond. Communication is a necessary skill for all arts, reading, and for use in society. B27, listening and speaking and listening. Students should be able to listen to someone speak, understand what they are saying, and ask questions about what they heard. They should be able to be given directions, follow them, and restate them to show comprehension. We think that listening and speaking is a very important part of the context that is taught. Students need to be able to listen to directions and ideas. They need to be able to understand them because throughout their school career, they will be required to do this to succeed. These skills are also a vital part of living successfully in our society. B10, reading, comprehension of informational text, culture, and history. Students are able to understand, analyze, and make conclusions about information given by an author in relation to cultural, historical, and current contexts. The students will be able to provide evidence that they understand what they have read. History, culture, and informational text are a part of our everyday lives. As adults, we have learned about our past successes, mistakes, and where we want to go in the future as a society and as a culture. If you do not learn about your history as a nation or a people, you cannot progress effectively. Even as individuals, we learn from the mistakes we make, and many times it helps to guide us in a better direction. We also learn what we have done well and what works. Without learning these things, students will be living in a bubble.
Warning: these two student expectations might be difficult to teach. This expectation is difficult due to similes and metaphors are mistakenly understood in a literal sense as opposed to their intended design to relate to other content. B3. Reading comprehensions of literary text, theme, and genre. Students analyze, make inferences, and draw conclusions about theme and genre in difficult cultural, historical, and contemporary contexts and provide evidence from the text to support their understanding. Students often confuse the difference between theme and genre. Genre is a category or artistic composition marked by a distinctive style, form, or content. Theme is defined as a topic of discussion, subject, or artistic representation, an implicit or recurrent idea, a motive. Supporting standards are based on the education that is to be comprehended in the grade that student is currently attending. Readiness standards are focused on the upcoming educational comprehension necessary in the following grade the student is to attend.
Due to the restricted time offered within a standard school day, much of the TEKS objectives sometimes are barely delivered. Knowing the requirements for the STAR testing, it would be easier for some teachers to only teach to the test as opposed to offering lifelong information that may affect the future of the nation based on their knowledge and their education if they move or otherwise. There are over 15 of the 4th grade TEKS of the 29 given that are not covered in the STAR test. History, spelling, researching, listening, speaking, and reading comprehension of procedural texts are not covered in the testing. Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. George Santayana. Listening and speaking skills are necessary for everyday use, especially in a professional atmosphere. Reading comprehension of procedural texts are necessary in construction, technology, common day baking, and more. There is no testing on these skills. In fact, these skills are needed to get a higher education. Parents are capable of assisting in this teamwork, but teachers are unable to depend on parents to take the place of a certified educator to properly give these state-required education skills.